Go.
Hi, this is Geshe Michael Roach, along with Scott and Reed, the Vice Presidents of DCI.
Hi, guys.
And we're at the Peachtree Cafe. You can see it's getting better and better. I think we're going to open within 5 years.
Donuts.
And anyway, welcome back. It's a nice Monday. And I hope you had a good weekend. Sunday was
International Women's Day.
Women's Day. I guess we're going to talk about that later in the week. And anyway, Arita, you have a question for us today?
Yes, we do. We have Kamal from India with a very, very good question. I had it in my mind myself, and I think everybody that is interested in seed or learning about this for the first time have this question. So listen carefully. Super cool.
Hi, Michael. Michael, my name is Kamal. I'm calling from India. Michael, the only question that I had is, I've seen 3 industries which are very unethical. The politicians, the news media, and the movie industry. I've seen them being very unethical in all their dealings. But despite that, I've seen them thriving. So, does the law of karma not affect them? That's my question. Thank you.
Wow.
Thanks,
Okay.
Classic DCI question.
So Kamal says that he's asking, are there people that they are outside of the law of seed, that seed doesn't apply to them, that they can plant negative seeds and still get good results?
Right, and it's a logical thing to say, right? Because here we are suggesting that, hardcore cause and effect said it either has to work 100% or zero. And so I'm looking around, you're telling me, Mr. Mrs. DCI, that I'm going to get good things if I do good things. I'm going to see bad things happen if I do see bad things, if I do bad things. And here I'm looking at all the some high-profile people in the world that seem to be doing really negative things, but they're living this fantastic life. What's the problem? I think that you're
What's the problem?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank Kamal for asking a question, because it's such an honor to get a question about karma from we call it Arya Desha, from the land of the realized people, from the land of the karma masters. So it's just exciting to get a question come off from India. And I really hope that you will send more questions, because we really enjoy your question. You asking me? There's 100 answers to this question. I think I would go to the time gap first.
Okay, guys, time gap. Listen.
And I'll tell you a funny story. I'm not going to tell you the country, okay? But we were in Europe, and I had this question from a guy. Turned out later he was a mafia leader of a gang, in the mafia gang. And he said, well, look, we can see that some people, it turned out to be him, they give bribes. In this case, it was to the customs department, and they get very successful. They have great success from this. So it seems like a bad action could cause a good result. What do you think, Scott? What's the answer to this person?
Okay, so when you do the pen demonstration around the world, you get to a certain point in demonstrating the pen to people, to use it as a way to understand how we say cause and effect is functioning. And you get to a certain point in the demonstration where you say, okay, now since we agree it's coming from me, I should be able to make it whatever I want, right? And you like stare at it, try to make it into a piece of gold, and you can't do it in that moment, because the punchline, the end of that demonstration is, the seeds I'm planting take some time to bring their result, and that's what we call the time gap in DCI. That basically the reason that we're seeing those people who are probably very nice people maybe doing things which are unethical sometimes, and it seems like they're still having a great life, it can only be because the results of those negative actions just haven't come yet.
I like to use my fingers when I do this. So, here's a person who was very generous to somebody else. And as a result of that, they're going to make a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. And then here's a person who, I don't know, pays a bribe or takes a bribe at the customs department. And, here's the bad result they're going to get, which is that they will not be able to make money, right? And then those two go like this. You see?
Yeah.
And then it looks like this bribe, or taking a bribe, is causing this money that came from, this success, financial success.
Yeah.
But actually, that set, karma in its result, that set of cause and effect was different set. This set was you were generous to someone else, so you get a lot of success, like those Bollywood guys, like those big politicians, like those newspaper people who are dishonest. Maybe they've been generous in the past.
Yeah, right.
They're going to get money from that. Then before they get the money, they do some corruption. And then from the corruption, they're going to get a bad result. So unfortunately, because we are creatures trapped in time.
Things tends to be like this.
Yeah, it looks like this good result caused, we could say this bad action created a good result. And this famous actor who's corrupt, does something corrupt, is actually going to get more success. So think of it, Kamal, I suggest you use your two fingers. Yeah. That's one answer.
I think, when you hear about seeds and then you try it for the first time and then you realize that there is a time gap, you start to have a little bit of doubt. Maybe this seed thing is not correct, because we are saying, okay, I need to know how long it will take me to get the result. Like, when you're planting watermelon, it's kind of, there is a science. Mm-hmm. If you do everything correctly, you give enough water, soil, everything, you will see within few weeks a watermelon, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to know how long will be the time gap. How long will it be till I get it? And if we cannot get the perfect answer for that, we start to have doubt. Maybe it doesn't work, right? Mm-hmm. And so I understand the question very deeply, because I had it the same. So I would like to take it more to the practical. Yeah. Can we make the time gap a little bit more scientific, like in agriculture? Is it possible that, we have a formula, like, when you plant corn or you plant watermelon or you do something, that you will know if you do it correctly, or in what period of time we will see the result?
I'll make your question longer.
Okay.
How can I shorten the time gap between being generous and getting a lot of money? And how can I widen the time gap between my old bad seeds and the result? You see what I mean? How do bad seeds get longer apart, or even stop them? And how good seeds, how can you make them shorter? Just give me one suggestion.
Obviously, it's the good old-fashioned DCI 4x4, 4 sets of 4 steps, or I should say 4 steps, 4 4-part tools. So you want faster results. You got to understand what you're doing in the process of planting seeds, like an awareness of the cause and effect relationship as you're doing something for somebody in order to help them and produce a result. That's powerful to begin with. But then, on top of that, to actually complete the 4 steps by doing step 4, like celebrating the fact that you did something good for somebody, and doing it with, as a method, not just as some sort of feel good, ooey gooey idea. And then if you want to increase the amount of time it takes before you see bad results come, or actually I should say, if you want to reduce the power of a bad result and make the smaller result come quickly, then you do the 4 powers practice to make it explode.
Okay, so there are other components that going on here, that there will be like the soil and the water for a real seed, right, for watermelon. Mm-hmm. So Scott was talking about, you want to see the result, you want to minimize the time gap. Be happy about what you did. Be happy about the good seeds that you planted. And there are other factors, right?
But doesn't that lead to pride? I mean, don't you start to get, if every night before you go to bed you think about what a good person I am, isn't that a bad thing?
Well, we are here talking about doing something good that benefits somebody else. So the good feeling that we are feeling is that this is so great that I'm engaging in helping somebody else. Mm-hmm. So it's mostly concentrated about the action of helping somebody and basically benefit to doing more good in the world, right? That's a good thing. That's it's not pride.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of an action or feeling.
I think pride would say, I'm the best seed planter in Mumbai or something. Nobody's as good as me. So that's a different thing.
Yeah.
That's a completely different
So
thing.
one thing we said, you wanna minimize the time gap for good seeds, right?
Yeah.
Minimize the time gap so good seeds will ripen fast. Be happy about what you did, but also, right, Geshe Michael, is that think about the idea of seeds every day in a relation to what you to the seed that you planted.
Yeah, understanding seeds is a kind of sunlight on good seeds, and that has to do with the ancient Indian idea of prana, because when the mind moves, then prana moves, and prana is actually a kind of inner heat, which brings heat to the seed. But I want to get one more thing in before we have to stop. What was that? There's the 3 ways that seeds open. They're called the 4 flowers, right?
So 4 ways.
Yeah, sorry, 4 ways that seeds open, called the 4 flowers. And I'm thinking about there might be some connection between the 3rd way that karma opens and seeing these bad people succeed.
Yeah.
So what's that? Anybody want to jump on that?
Okay, so everybody around us, everybody we meet, they are also a result of our seeds. We wouldn't be able to have any experience in the outside world that is not coming from our seeds.
Now, that takes some courage to really consider that one. That's hard.
Yeah, so everybody you meet in the kitchen in the morning, everybody you meet when you walk to work,
What do you see in the newspaper?
and everybody you see on the news
Yeah.
is also coming from you.
Yes. So meaning when we see somebody else doing negative actions, doing something that hurts some other people, the best thing that we can use it is to see it as a mirror and check, do I do something similar in my life in some small way?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, when we see something very, very negative that happens outside, it doesn't mean that we are doing it in the same kind of level of intensity.
Because seeds grow.
Because seeds grow, yeah. But we probably do something in the level of thinking.
So let's see if you see a movie actor. I can think of one who didn't pay their taxes. They cheated the government on $1 million of taxes, but still they keep getting more famous and more rich.
Yeah. So I should look at myself and where do I actually not I'm behaving in a corrupt way.
Yeah, not keeping my promises.
Not keeping my promises,
Yeah.
not my obligations,
Yeah.
my commitments.
Yeah. So maybe something to small thing, because seeds grow fast. Small seed for a tree can grow 7 billion times. So maybe I didn't keep a commitment to get home on time for my kids or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah. Just not keeping commitments is a really unfortunately common small seed that produces some really big
And we
nasty
all
results.
do it all the time.
Yeah.
We're all breaking small
It's
commitments.
time to get to the Peachtree Cafe, and then I'm late, and I don't keep the commitment I had to Scott and Noreen.
And you know something, Kamal, also, I think it's very possible to avoid that trap of getting prideful, like starting to think I'm so awesome because I did this good thing for somebody. When you start to think about the fact that it's just really smart, if my success depends on your success, then it's just really smart for me to do something good for you. It's not like I'm better than somebody. And I think it's really cool that it's consistent with most of the typical leadership philosophy that you hear these days. If you observe leaders, especially good ones, I think you notice they have common traits, and a lot of good leaders tend to spend a lot of their time being aware of what their team, their employees need, what they want, what they feel as human beings, and they do that not because they're nice people. I think because they're intuitively smart. They recognize that this is not just nice; it's productive. It actually causes success.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so
I think we're we finished up with Kamal.
Can we get some concrete things that Kamal should do?
Kamal, you had a philosophical question about the mechanism of seeds, but we would like to take it to a practical way. How can we?
What's 3 practical things Kamal can do?
That the time gap for good seed that we plant will be shorter, and when we see bad things, it will allow us not to judge and hate and criticize, which will plant more bad seeds.
Okay,
right?
so
first one,
to speed up your own seeds.
Understand the time gap. Understand that when we plant a seed, it doesn't ripen usually within a few hours. There are other components like being happy about the good things that I did, and in thinking about seeds every day will help ripen the seeds faster.
Yeah, okay, so try to think about seeds every day. By the way, I'll put an advertisement. We have DC Online levels where we go deeper, and there are many hours of levels, and you can check DC Online button on the DCI website, Diamond Cutter Institute.
So the more you brainwash yourself with the idea of seeds in any way you can think of, you study it, you think about it, you talk about it with a friend, you will understand seeds better, and the good seeds will ripen faster.
Yeah, and then I guess keep your small commitments in your family, and then those will grow, and you'll see other people keeping their big commitments.
Yeah.
Because they're also part of your reality. They're also part of you.
And every time we see something that happens outside of us, somebody that does something that we see it as negative, we see it as bad, we think it's hurting other people, use it as a mirror and look inside your heart. Where do I do similar? Where do I act in a similar way? Maybe in some, even in a form of thought, and then stop it.
Tiny.
How do you? Like you fix the word first inside you.
Yeah. Fix the whole world inside you. I have a third suggestion.
We gotta wrap it up.
I have a third suggestion.
Yes.
India is almost 1 billion people. Okay, so I'm sure they have a lot of questions. Come on.
Seed, guys, we need your questions sent to us in vertical, selfie, 30-second or less video questions. Seed questions at diamondcutterinstitute.com. Once again, please send your videos to seed questions at diamondcutterinstitute.com. We want to hear your questions, just like Kamal's today. We want to use them.
You don't have to be from India to send us a question. You can be from everywhere.
I spent many years in India, and I love India, and I would so much enjoy it, Kamal, if you get some of your friends to send in a question.
Yeah, and Kamal, if you start to feel irritated thinking that people are getting away with something, just feel bad, because if you see somebody doing something unethically, just like you and me, they're not going to be able to avoid that result. So you got a question?
The result will come.
We
don't know when. Sometimes we can't tell when, but the result. Every seed produces a result.
Well, you should feel sad for them, because they're going to have some pain in the future.
Okay, so tomorrow, Stanley and Allison from China are going to be here with a question from who?
They're originally from China, but right now they're stuck in
they're stuck in Sedona.
Because of the coronavirus.
Who's the question from tomorrow?
It's the question from Isabel Baron.
Isabel Baron from Berlin.
Yeah,
Berlin,
great
Germany.
question about relationships.
Let's go.
Hi, my name is Isabel Baron and I live in Berlin. I would like to know, which is the key for a long-term happy relationship, and how to successfully overcome situations when I, for example, get annoyed with my partner, or when he gets upset for things I say or do and then gets distant. So thanks a lot for answering my question.
All right. Eine sehr gute Frage. Okay, guys, that's bless you.
Sorry.
That's Monday, March 9, and hope you have a great Monday. See you next time.
See you on Tuesday.
Mystery Morning Show.
Bye.